Hey peeps, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah, and today I want to address a comment that I got on one of my videos. Tessa and Evan ask, can you do a video on how to select photos for the photo manipulation? This is one thing that I'm really struggling with. Thanks. So yes, let's address this because I feel like this is a really tricky process. Just understanding how photos will work together. So I want to show you step by step my thought process as I'm looking for photos. So let me switch over to my computer. Sometimes I will use pexels.com or Pixabay, but Unsplash is usually where I first go to. So now your creative process might play into this a little bit. Do you like to have an idea first, or what are you looking for? So because I tend to use free stock images and it's not as easy to find what I'm looking for, if I have a concept in my head already, then I'm going to be struggling to find those elements that I want because I am working strictly from free stuff. Now, if you want, you can use paid elements like from stock, like iStock images or Envato elements, but because I'm going the free route, this is what I tend to do. Is I like to go in without a concept and I let the pictures kind of inspire the concept. However, if you wanted to go in with a concept first, sometimes it's helpful to go to Pinterest and just create some mood boards or ideas and select like probably between 7 and 10 photos from Pinterest or something. Create a board just to kind of give you a vibe that you're looking for. So, but because I start without the concept, I start right here. And I like to do a lot of animal photo manipulations for two reasons. Because I do generally prefer working on animal subjects rather than people, but also people can be a little bit harder to find free stock images that are in the concept that I want. So I like to do a lot of creature design. So what I might do here, because I'm working with an animal subject, because that's what I want to do, instead of looking for something specific, I might just type in animals. And you'll see that this stuff at the top is like paid stuff, but this just kind of gives me an idea. Ooh, that one's really cool actually. An idea on what I can work with from the start. So I kind of like the fox. I kind of like the sea turtle. The bird is really cool too. Birds are fun just because they're so colorful. But what I'm looking for in these is a clear definition of the subject. So for example, this is a good one in the sense that the picture quality is decent. Like, these are all high resolution images, so you don't have to worry about that. But I feel like this is something that would work well because the light isn't too harsh. Like, there's a little bit of lighting in here, but if I wanted to change the lighting, it wouldn't be too insanely hard. And most of his profile is easily defined, easy to cut out. If I had a bunch of like brush and trees and stuff like that in here, I probably wouldn't select this image. Now, if it's just the rock that he's standing on, I can deal with that. And not only that, I might actually use part of that rock in the actual image, because no matter what I do, if I cut out his paws and I try to put him in a different scene, it's never going to look more natural than if he's standing on the rock he's already in the photo in. So this is an option, so I'm just going to go ahead and download this one. And you can say thanks by crediting, but I have the names are all on these saved files anyways. So I'm going to leave that there. Now actually I do want to go back up and grab this tiger because that one was really cool. So let's download this one. And a lot of times I will just download a few images just to kind of figure out if it's something I want to work with, what do I feel like I'm in the mood for, and I can always save those photos for something later. I like this tiger too. Oh, you know what? I feel like that one would be really fun. Let's do that one. Okay, so I kind of think I want to go with more of a tiger theme here, because I've got 2 tigers and a jaguar. Yeah, I'm in the mood for big cats apparently. So I have some ideas for my animal subject. So now I'm gonna think about, oh, let's just do some landscape pictures. No, let's see, let's go forest. Let's see what we can find there, because I want to set my large cat in something maybe more ethereal. Now, this is really pretty, but I don't really see a clear spot where I can place my subject. However, this might be good for like a second plane kind of behind my main plane. So I'm gonna download that one just as an option. See, and this one's really cool too, but if you look at the perspective, it's a little off, because let's go look back at our downloads here. Okay, so if you look at this image, if you look at the perspective, I'm at eye level right about here. So what I don't want is I don't want my eye level down on the ground and then grab a photo where it looks like I'm looking down, because that's kind of a conflicting perspective. So I want something like this might actually be okay for some of the plane, because it kind of looks like more like I'm looking up. This one's kind of neat. I still feel like the eye level isn't quite right. This, like, the eye level is probably about right, but it just does not fit the vibe at all. Like, this one looks really cool, but they've got almost like, first of all, you're looking down, but it's almost like it's got a fisheye lens kind of effect to it. This is really cool, but it's zoomed in too much. I could use this for, let me look at my image here. You know, maybe, okay, maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way. What if I take this and put it in front like a water line and then have a different kind of background behind him? I think that might be better. See, this is where like the inspiration comes in. Sometimes I don't know what I want until I get the photos in front of me. So let me download that one. And actually, let me take a look at my other images, because that background one that I chose initially as like a second plane, you know, this one might actually work out fairly well. So I'm gonna start with those 3 images and just see how they fit together in the composition. So let me actually take this over to my iPad and we'll go from there. Okay, so I have my tiger placed, and usually I will build the environment first, but in this scenario, because his rock is going to be part of the environment and it's going to be a big part of the environment, I'm placing my subject first. And then when I choose my next photo, so I have the lily pads here, and I want to create a water line, but when I do that, so as I'm looking, I see this natural break in the rock here, and I'm thinking that's kind of where I want my water line to start. But I'm not going to go through like a whole photo manipulation here. I'm just going to loosely piece them together to see kind of how I feel about it. So I've got this image here, and let me just zoom out for a second, because really I want the big picture here. I'm not working on details. I'm going to erase this whole upper part in here, because really I want to maintain some form of detail, but not too much. And I will actually draw in this water line a little bit. So then as I sit that right down in here, it doesn't sit great, but something else I can do is I can just move all this up so that I have this this lily pad here right in the front, and it's going to be blurred out to create that depth of field, but I'm still trying to think of my perspective here. So thinking, and you know what, this is what I'll do a lot of times, is I will make this layer transparent so I can see where everything is lining up. So I can kind of see where that natural rock layer breaks. So if I set that right there, and then let's bring the opacity all the way back up, and I'm gonna grab my eraser. So I'm gonna have to work with this a little bit, but I think that's not a bad start. And I don't want some of these blurry ones in there, because the thing to remember here with my depth of focus, these are kind of blurred out right in here. And this is a little misleading because my subject is clear and this is blurred out. So what I might do, I don't want these to be super clear because it is in front of him a little bit, but I am going to blur this foreground out even more. I've got my tiger in there, and then, you know, I could stay with this background, but I think I want to create just a little bit more interest. So I'm going to add my other photo in here. Then I'm going to just blur, or not blur, I'm going to fade that out just a little bit. And let's stick that behind him. And then I'm going to erase out some of the background in here so I can see what's happening. I'm going to keep some of that rock in there, I think. Okay, so I can already tell that my depth, or the eye level, is off. So I'm going to bring that photo up a little bit more. So the colors are off, but they're not terrible. I feel like this is something that I can work with compositionally. Yeah, I think I like that. So obviously, like, it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of color correction, light correction. But again, with my subject, if you can see, like, there isn't any really bright light sources. And I always watch for that. If there is bright light sources that are blowing out all the detail and I can't edit the lighting myself, then I won't use that image. But this has got nice even lighting on all of my images. And I think the one layer I might have to work with the most is that lily pad layer. So that's just my process, and I hope you found this helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more content like this. I do alternate between traditional and digital mediums, but I do quite a bit of photo manipulation on this channel. So that's all for now, and I will see you in the next video.